Peace and blessings. This is not Queen Unique or Uniquely Paranormal, and today I wanted to talk to you about me entering the Twilight Zone. Now, what do I mean by me entering the Twilight Zone? So it's a long story, right? And so I need to take you through. You have to have some patience because it's different variables to this one story. So I'm going to give the names of the people who were with me, and there were 6 of us, right? So bear with me. So there's me, Ranisha, Hassana, Khadijah, Annette, and Michelle. In my truck, there were me, Ranisha, both in the front, Annette and Michelle. The other car had Hassana and Khadijah. So we are going to eat, right? And someone suggested this restaurant, and it was up 80 West. And they said that they had really good seafood. None of us ever been there before. In fact, it was Annette's brother-in-law who suggested the restaurant. So we Googled the instructions and we went. Now, as I was going, I didn't drive. So first of all, we all met up at Ranisha's house because, okay, Annette is from Jersey. She grew up in North New Jersey, of course, but she now lives in Atlanta. So when she comes up, we always do, different things, different girl things. So Annette is actually Ranisha's good friend, best friend, one of her best friends. And Michelle is Annette's friend. This is the reason that I'm giving you the relationships. So Annette is Ranisha's friend, and Michelle is Annette's friend. So I met Michelle through Annette, and Ranisha met Michelle through Annette. So Michelle is strictly Annette's friend. Well, she's our friend now, and she's like my spiritual sister because of this experience. But so we're going to the restaurant, but we're all meeting up at Ranisha's house. Annette stayed at Ranisha's house anyway. So the only ones who was really meeting up was me, Michelle, and Hassana and Khadijah. Okay. So 4 of us drive in my car, 2 drive in Hassana's car. So we're driving, and as I never like to drive. I always hop in the passenger seat, right? So everyone who knows me knows I hop in the passenger seat real quick all the time. So I'm in the passenger seat. And as I'm driving, I'm looking out the window and something tells me to protect the car. Now, what do I mean by protect the car? So protecting the car is, protecting anything is basically visualizing a white light surrounding you. So when I lived in a neighborhood where there was like a lot of gunshots, this is a true story. I was living on 16th Avenue and 13th Street. It was a lot of gunshots when I first got there in 2014. And I literally would protect the house and like my car. I didn't want anybody to break into my car. So I would visualize the white light surrounding the whole property, including my car. And then I bring the light up and through the clouds and to the gods, to the universe also. So this is what I did. I was literally looking out the window like this, and we was driving, and the sky was really, really, really pretty. So I'm just looking at the color of the sky, and then something says, protect the car. So as she's driving, and I'm just sitting there looking outside, I visualize a white light around my car. Never, ever, ever, ever in my entire life have I been told to protect the car. It's usually the house. Like, you don't want nobody breaking into your house while you sleep and stuff like that, right? You want to feel protected in your home. So I always protect the home. So only do the vehicle when it's in the home, in the driveway. So anyway, I protect the car. So now we're driving, and we get to the restaurant. So we all get out. And it's dark. It's probably like 8 o'clock when we get there. And there's a white guy standing outside smoking a cigarette. And there's a reason why I said his complexion. Because basically that's all it is, a complexion, right? In a state of mind. So he said, oh, it must be a girls' night out because it was so many of us. So I was like, so we were like, yeah, we coming to hang out and get some seafood. Now, when we go into the restaurant, I'm the second person. I don't know who was right in front of me, but I do know that Hassana was right next to me. So whoever was in ahead, I came in and Hassana came in. The moment that I entered the restaurant, the only way I can describe it is the way I've been describing it. And I'm sorry if you're from Jersey and you're like, I know what restaurant she's talking about. But I can only give you the energy that I received. And when we walked in, I felt like it just hit me. Like this negative force of energy literally hit me. And it felt like from dusk till dawn. Real talk. You know how dusk to dawn, when you went in, everybody was regular people, and then when the sun set and the nighttime came or midnight came, they all turned into vampires. It literally felt like that's the first image that came into my head when I walked into the door. And so there was a short, chubby, white lady who was talking to our hostess, who was a thinner white female. And when she was talking to her, she was talking to her with this negative tone, but she had her back to us. But I could feel that she had a negative tone. And then she turned around and she was like, hi, welcome to the restaurant. Like literally from the negative. That's what I think gave me the dusk till dawn, because it was like she was the devil when she was talking to the hostess, but then she turned around and was like, hi. It was crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, you don't think much of something, even though you're aware of it happening. You never really dwell on it. You feel it like, okay. So that's what I did. Like, okay. But Hassan is right behind me, and they was taking us to the back of the room. So Hassan is like, oh, they're going to take all the black people to the back of the room, because I'm telling you, there was no black people there. None. We were the only ones. So she was like, oh, they taking it. So I was like, well, there's white people, because they sat us next to a group. I'm like, there's white people in the back as well. So we don't want to just assume that's what it is, right? Okay. So now we're eating, and the hostess she was wonderful. She had a good spirit. So, we were talking to her, and she took pictures for us and all of that stuff. And as I had crab legs. Me and Khadijah both ordered crab legs. So while I was eating the crab legs, the voice said to me not to eat the butter, because I dipped my crab legs in butter. They told me not to eat the butter. And classic me, you're like coming up with reasons why maybe this is just in your head, and you ignore what they tell you. I do that all the time. So I'm like, well, Khadijah's eating the butter and she's not having a problem, right? So I continue to eat the butter. Okay. So now time is running down. It's 10 o'clock. And my daughter texts me like, Mom, what time are you coming home? So now I'm like, all right, I'm leaving because it's 10 o'clock. Let me go home. So I was like, are y'all riding with me? Like the same people who rode with me there. So they said, yeah. Now, technically, there was no reason for them to ride with me because I drove my car. So really, I could have just went straight home. And I'm staying in the house that's in Irvington. So I could have went straight home. But they said they was going to ride with me. So I was like, okay. So when we get to the parking lot, Hassan and Khadijah wanted Ranisha to ride with them. They was like, you always ride with Unique. So, which is my middle name. So now Queen is my first name, Unique is my middle name. So they're like, you always ride with Unique. And then so she came to me and she said, well, because I always ride with you, I'm going to ride with Hassan and Khadijah because they want me to be with them. So I'm like, okay. Now, Annette and Michelle are in the bathroom, so they don't know this conversation is happening. So then when they come out, Michelle gets in my car first, so she gets in the back seat, and Annette looks in the back seat, and she's like, where's Ranisha? So I said, well, Ranisha got in Hassan in them car because they wanted her to ride with them. So she was like, okay, well, give me my stuff. Because she later on said that in her head, she figured I wasn't going to go into Ranisha's house. Because it really didn't make any sense for me to have to go to Ranisha's house. So she got her stuff and she got in the truck. But Michelle, who was actually Annette's friend, never got out the car. She stayed in the back seat. So logic would tell you she should follow Annette because that's her girlfriend. And then the other logic would be for me to be like, well, get in the car with them so that I can go straight home. But that's not what happened. because that's not what called for, well, what the universe called for. So Michelle's in the back seat. I say, well, get in the front seat. What you sitting in the back for? So she gets out and she gets in the front seat, which is just crazy to both of us. Because she said, later on said that she also thought to get in the truck, but something told her to stay in mine. So, okay. Now, we pull off first. So it's just Michelle and I. We pull off first. And of course, we're getting now back on 80 East. So Hassan and them are behind me. I get on 80 East. I'm driving. It's really, really dark outside. For my two eyes, what I see is pure darkness. I don't see lights. I don't see signs. I can't see no signs. Like literally all I see are car lights. This is my vision. All I see is car lights. So I'm in my head like, damn, it's dark as hell. It's a good thing I'm a good driver because I can't hardly see what's in front of me. At the same time, I'm in my head like, well, where's Hassana? Like literally my whole drive, for some reason, I wasn't in the present. Well, I was, you know how you're thinking somewhere else instead of being in the present, that type. So I wasn't in the present of being in the car and driving and watching where I'm going. My whole brain kept saying, where's Hassana? Is that Hassana behind me? Is that truck right there Hassana? Is this Hassana? Because she drives a truck. The whole time I was like obsessed with where is Hassana because it was so dark to me. Okay, so we just get on the highway and let's listen to some music. So I tell Michelle, put on iTunes. So she puts on iTunes and Fabulous comes on. So we listen to a Fabulous song, right? One song. She then changes and say, well, let's listen to some club music, which is house music. Let's listen to some club music on YouTube. So she goes to YouTube and she finds a video with the club music. Only we don't hear any of the music, right? All we hear is static. It's like mad static. So I'm like, well, what the heck? Because I'm now, I don't want to look away because it's so dark to me. And I just want to make sure I don't mag up. So I'm like, what the heck is that? Girl, turn that off. She was like, she said it's the actual club music, but I don't know why we only hearing static. So I was like, well, cut it off and go back to the iTunes. So she went right back to the iTunes. That probably took 2 minutes at tops. She goes back to iTunes and we listen to The Dream. The next song was The Dream, right? So we're driving. We listening to The Dream. I'm still obsessed with where is Hassana. I don't know why, but for some reason, that's the only place I was. And it's dark as shit, right? I don't see no signs. Finally, I see a sign. When I see a sign, the sign says, last exit in New Jersey. Last exit in New Jersey. So I know I could tell I'm nowhere near New York. Like, there's no way I passed our exit home and got to New York. So now I'm like, wait, are we headed to PA? So I'm like, how the fuck are we at last exit in New Jersey? So I don't know what this exit is, but of course I'm getting off. So I'm like, well, look, let's get off the exit. So I get off the exit and I don't know where I'm at, right? But it's a really short exit. When you come off the exit, so the exit does this. So one way is that way and then this. And here was the stop sign. So again, I'm gonna go back to logic. Logically, if I'm on a highway and I'm going this way, the other highway is coming this way, right? So if I get off, I should go left and go right back on and come back around, right? So when I come off, I see the stop sign to go left and get back on, but something is pulling me this way. Something says go this way, go right, go right. So I went right. And when I went right, then I'm punching in the address to get back to Ranisha's house. And the GPS says we're an hour and 15 minutes away. How the hell are we an hour and 15 minutes away from home, right? It's a 20 to 30 minute ride. About 20 to 30 minutes to get to that. Well, maybe it took us 40 minutes going because we didn't know where we were going. So let's just say 40 minutes at tops. But this says an hour. I'm an hour and 15 minutes away from home. So Immediately, I look at the clock. The clock says it's 10:32. Now, we leave the restaurant at 10 o'clock, right? We listen to 2 songs. How long are 2 songs? Let's say it's back in the day when songs was 8 minutes long. We know songs today is about 4 minutes long, tops probably. 8 minutes, that would be 16 minutes. How the hell were we gone for 32 minutes? How the hell was it 10:32? And so I'm like, 10:32? So immediately Michelle says, it's no way it's 10:32. She said we listened to 2 songs. So I'm like, word, we only listened to, how is it 10:32? And how are we an hour and 15 minutes away from home, right? Now, mind you, we're driving. The GPS is taking us straight. So now this is where the craziness really happens, I guess. I guess it's crazy. All of it is crazy. So we're driving down this road. This road is a 1-car road. It says go 15 minutes because somehow we're in a park. Like the exit led to a park. So I'm driving and there's nothing but trees on this side and wall on that side. Trees and a wall. And sometimes it was trees and trees. So you couldn't see beyond the trees. So all I kept saying as I'm driving, like, do people live here? Right? So I'm just like, do people live here? Like, where the fuck are we? Like, I'm literally like, where are we? And the GPS is just still telling me to go straight. So now there's 2 cars in front of me. There's a small car and then a gray car. A blue car in front of me and then a gray car. The blue car eventually, so the road was like this, and then there was like a little dip, a little space, and then back to the road. The car that was in front of me was a really, really small car, so he fit into that little space. And it was like literally enough for his little car to fit. He sat there. So now I'm behind the gray car, and we're driving, and we're going straight, and probably 20 minutes. No lie, because it said drive 15 miles per hour, so that's how slow we were going. And there was a park, like a national park. Damn, I did look up the name of the national park. I don't forgot the name of it. I'll put it at the end of the video. So we get to there's a national park there, and the gray car goes through the national park. So I'm like, well, where the hell are they going? Because it's like dark. So where are you going? So anyway, I'm still, the GPS is still telling me to go straight. So I keep going straight. And then I get to a dead end where you can't go straight anymore. The GPS is still telling me to go straight, but you can't go straight. The gate's there. It says no entry, no through traffic, big sign. So I'm like, what? So now Michelle looks at me like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like, yo, are they serious right now? Like it's pitch black. You can't see in. All I kept thinking of is scary movies. You know how you watch scary movies? And I just kept saying, anybody could just throw some spikes in the road, flatten my tires, and we done. Like, there's nowhere for us to go. Like, we done. So this is going through my head. And then I'm like, well, can you see behind us? And she's like, no, because it's pitch black behind us. But I have to make a U-turn, right? I don't have no choice. We got to go back the other way. So I'm inching because in front of me looks like a cliff because we're not at the base of the tree. We're not at the roots. We're at the mid of the tree, and then there's the branches. So clearly there's a drop somewhere. So I'm like, what the hell? So now I'm inching and inching and inching, back and forth, inching to make my U-turn. Scared to death to go anything past an inch, because I don't want to fall off no cliff backwards or frontwards, because you can't see shit either way. So then I go back this way. So I'm like, well, maybe the people who was ahead of us know more than I know. Let me go through that park. So I go into the park, and the park has a circle. Through traffic, you going around the circle, and you coming right back to where you started. I swear it was like the Twilight Zone. Okay, so as I'm going around the circle, there's like an office right in the mid of the circle. And to the left, there's a house and a truck, a white house and a truck. That's it. No other houses, nothing else going on but grass and forest. I noticed that the car who turned before us wasn't there. So I said, where's the car who turned in before us? So now at this time, Annette calls Michelle. Where are y'all? Y'all left before us. So Michelle was like, we're lost, but we're not gonna panic, right? So as she's saying that, so now let me just give you a little history with me. Just like how I know to protect, like whoever told me to protect the car always speaks to me. So I always have conversations. Like sometimes a lot of times I ignore the information that I receive. But most of the time, especially if I ask a question, of course I listen to the answer. So I also feel death. Is many people in my family passed and I knew they were gone because I would literally feel the death. So I'm sitting there while she's having the conversation on the phone. I'm there and I'm like, okay, so I don't feel death. Like I don't feel like we're about to die. So I'm like, there must have been a reason for us to experience this. I don't know what the reason is, but now I need you to guide me out of here. Talking to the ancestors. Now I need you to guide me back out of here, right? And then they say, go right. So I said to Michelle, now mind you, remember it was a single car road. Only one car can fit. So I said, Michelle, I gotta go right. So she was like, wasn't that a one way? I'm like, yeah, but I have to go right. Like I gotta go right. So I make the right and I go back down this single lane road. A red light suddenly appears. A red light, a red traffic light. I ain't see no traffic light on my way down. None whatsoever. Not even where a traffic light, I still don't even know where a traffic light could be because the road was so narrow and only could fit one car. And it was only one spot where there was a dip. And on our way back, that same car was still in that spot. And it was a young dude. He probably was lost. I felt bad for him. So a red light shows up, right? So I stop and I'm like, Michelle, like, did you see a traffic light when we came down? So I'm like, no, right? So on this side is a rail and you could jump off. And on this side is a wall, right? Nowhere to go. Well, forest. Let's just say it's a forest. It was just so damn dark. It seemed like there was nothing but a wall. So the sign says, do not proceed until the light turns green, one-way traffic. Single lane traffic. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm waiting for this light to turn green because it seemed like it was never going to turn green. So I go. And as I'm going, literally the road is doing this. So there's no way to see what's coming your way. It's no way to see. So the whole time aloud, I'm saying, please don't let another car come through. Please just don't let another car come through. Please just don't let another car come through. I said it like 4 times. When I said it on the 4th time, you know how the heavens open up? That's what happened. Like the park just opened up and we was back to where we started. And then the GPS said, turn left on 80 East. Like, she had us going this long road down this, one way, down the whole road instead of just saying go around that way. But when we got out the park, it said turn. So we just looked at each other. And this is the other part. As soon as we get on 80 East, it's lit up. Like, it's lit. It's so much light. There is no way you cannot see a sign. No way, period, whatsoever. Like, it's so lit up. And then all I kept thinking was, it has to be lit up. Trucks take these routes. So there's no way it's ever dark the way I saw it coming. And so we're driving and I'm like, now mind you, as I'm driving, I literally got home in 35 minutes. 35 minutes. But when I got off the exit, same exit, it was an exit because this was now an entrance, but same space across from each other. It's an hour and 15 minutes away from home. I literally got home in 35 minutes, still doing the same 60, 65 miles per hour. So I'm seeing every single sign, because of course every exit has a sign. And not only that, but up here there's signs telling you when you're getting to the, you know how I would say exit 10, 2.5 miles away. All of that I can see. I saw absolutely none of that on the first drive, because I started on 80 East. I don't know how the hell I ended up on 80 West. How did I end up on 80 West? Okay, this is something else about me. I never get lost. Never, ever in my entire life. I could literally make wrong turns and always had this sense of direction that people would be like, how did you get us back? Like, I would literally find our way right back, because in my head, I'm logically seeing all the steps of the way I should be going. It's crazy. Anyway, I can't even explain it, but my sense of direction is ridiculous. I never get lost. So, and how the hell you gonna get lost on 80? It's a one way, like you literally, 80 turns into 280 and then there's our exit. You don't have to make any extra getting off and getting on to something else. 80 turns into 280 and then there's your exit. You can't get lost. But somehow we ended up on 80 West. There's no exit on 80 East to get to 80 West. Okay? So when we get to Ranisha finally, right, she like, girl, I was scared to death, because all I kept saying was, Unique don't never get lost. And there's no way you can get lost, right? So now I'm like, yo, I know I got on 80 East. And then Michelle was like, I watched you get on 80 East. She was like, because I wanted to make sure you didn't get on West. And then Ranisha and Annette are like, Hassana said, where are you? And I said, she's right there in front of us, getting on the entrance. And she said, you got on the exact entrance and we got on right behind you. So you definitely got on 80 East. So it's a good thing that I have them to validate, because of course people would think you're crazy, but I literally, we had to go through something. I don't know, a wormhole. Did we get abducted by aliens? Because when she turned on the radio, it was nothing but static. I don't know what the hell happened to us, but we literally entered the Twilight Zone. And the thing is, when you look back, I'm like, they told me to protect the truck. Like, I never protect a vehicle. Like, even still, I don't go outside and protect the vehicle before. Like, only time I think of protection is when I'm laying down sleep. I want to protect the house while I was sleeping. That's the only time. But I'm literally looking out the sky and they're like, protect the car. So now I'm putting a white light around the car as we're driving. It's just crazy. So what do you think? I don't take drugs. I don't drink. I was straight sober. There's none of that. So what the hell happened? And so how did I get on 80 East entrance but ended up on 80 West? And why was it so dark that I couldn't see any signs and static in my radio? What do you think happened? I would love to hear your comments. Just comment below, and I will see you on the next video. I wish you much peace and blessings. And I'm sorry, I almost forgot. Not only am I going to give you the name of the park at the end, I'm also going to show you a picture, because Michelle says to me, I took a picture, but I want to show it to you when we get home. I mean, she said I took a video. I took a video, but for some reason it turned into a picture, and I'm going to show it to you when we get home. So I'm going to have the video at the end of, I'm going to have the picture at the end of this video. So I wish you much peace and blessings, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.